Hi, this is Josh from naturalhealthyfamily.com. Our intention is to create a series of really simple recipes for dads to put together. These are really tasty recipes, but they're really easy to put together. So what we're going to do tonight is we're starting out with slow roasted pork and slow roasted potatoes. So I'm going to jump right into this. We're going to start with the pork. Now I've already done all the prep on this. This is the pork. I've already done all the prep on this, and the entire prep for this, in fact, honey, will you just show over here really quick? The entire prep for this is for the slow roasted potatoes, and I'll show you all this here in a minute. The entire prep only took me about 10 minutes. So right now, we're going to start with the pork. So I've got, the recipe calls for a 3 to 4 pound pork butt roast. This is actually a shoulder blade roast. It's about 3 1/4 pounds. So, but it'll work fine. So what you want to do is you put it in you want to have kind of a close fitting dish for this. We've already got the oven preheating at 400 degrees. So the first thing we're going to do is this is Worcestershire sauce, about a 1/3 cup. I actually ran out, so it's a little less than a 1/3 cup, but that's okay because a lot of times I don't use what it calls for anyway. So what we're going to do is we're just going to liberally douse this thing with Worcestershire sauce all over it. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. Worcestershire. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to, this is brown sugar, and the recipe calls for 3/4 cup. Now what you're doing is you're actually going to just pack this. You're trying to make almost like a crust using this brown sugar. And you're going to do it all over it. We're actually going to flip it over. You can see it's got a fat band over here, and sometimes you want that on top so it drips over the top of it, but we don't really have it set up that way. So we're just going to, basically, I'm just going to dump that on there. Okay, so Worcestershire sauce, brown sugar. I'm just going to wash off my hands really quickly. And then this is just apple juice, and it's half a cup, I think, half a cup of apple juice. And you're not going to pour it over the top of it. You're actually going to kind of, if you can see this, I'm drizzling it down the side. So you don't want to ruin your little crust there, but you want the entire bottom of this filled up with apple juice. So you can kind of just pour it in there. If you actually move this around just a little bit. Okay, now I'm just kind of cleaning this off so the stuff doesn't burn on my dish. And then you're going to put a lid on here. Now you are not going to remove this lid for the next 5 hours. So once it's on there, it's on there. And I'm just going to put it here to kind of stage it. And then let me just wipe off my workspace here real fast. So that's the pork roast. Okay, good. So now we're going to do the slow roasted potatoes. Okay, so what I've got here is really simple. Basically what I've done is I've taken these potatoes and I have
peeled them.
Peeled them, thank you, honey. I always call it skinning. Skinned or peeled them. And then I just cut these in quarters. We like ours in big pieces. You can do these in whatever size you want. Now with the onions, you can see actually I'm just keeping those together too. And these are just quartered as well. So I'm just going to dump all of this in here. Usually what we do is about 2 potatoes per person. If you're using smaller potatoes, if you're using a bigger potato, you can do less. But we like a lot of carrots. And you can see here, so all I've done is just chopped them into sections like this. So you can just dump all this in here. And then what we've got here is some butter, which I had melted but is now kind of coagulating. Now I add this myself. This is just some chopped up garlic that I've got in a jar in the fridge, and I just dump it in there. I love to cook with garlic. I use a lot of garlic in my cooking, so I'm just going to mix it in there. We've got 3 tablespoons of butter, which I melted in the microwave, but it's now kind of coagulating. And then I added, this is not part of the recipe, but I added about a teaspoon of chopped minced garlic. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to dump this on the top of everything. And then this, we got some paprika, some garlic powder, salt, and black pepper in here. It's a teaspoon of paprika, a half teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder, and then black pepper to taste. You can actually just sprinkle this on here. And as you can see, I've just got it all dumped in here. And then what we're going to do is we're just kind of going to toss this. Toss is a little better if the butter is melted a little better, but that's okay. And you can see the onions are kind of breaking up as I'm stirring it. That's fine. As it cooks, they're going to soften. And you don't need to worry about this too much. This whole thing, as it cooks, is just kind of, these flavors are just kind of, evenly spread out throughout this dish. So that's it. Now we're just going to cover that. Stage this over here. And we've already got our oven preheated to 400 degrees. Just going to put these in the sink. Okay, so we're going to put it in the oven. And like I said, you're not actually going to touch any of this for the next 5 hours. Now we've got the oven at 400 degrees right now. What we're going to do is we're going to come back in 5 minutes and we're going to turn it down to 200 degrees. And it's going to cook at 200 degrees for the next about 5 hours. Let me just look at this really quick and make sure I've got that right. 200 degrees. Actually, it says 4 hours on this. I usually go about 5 because it tends to be a little more tender. So we'll go for 4 hours and then we'll check it and see where it is. We might leave it in for another hour. Okay, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, we're back. It's been 5 minutes. I actually set a timer on my microwave, and I recommend that you do that. Set a timer for 5 minutes. It just went off. So it's been in the oven. I'm not going to open it. We've got the potatoes are in there. The roast is in there, and it's at 400 degrees right now. So right now, I'm going to switch it to 200 degrees, and that's it. We'll check back in 4 hours. Check back in 4 hours, and we'll see how the roast is doing.